The Next Door Cat. "Here's that lovely ginger cat who lives next door," said Mummy. "He's in our garden, look. Go and stroke him, Janie. He's a real pet." "I don't like him," said Janie. "He's a horrid, unkind cat. He caught a blackbird the other day, and he scratched me when I took it away from him." "Well, darling, it's a cat's nature to catch birds, and mice, and rats," said Mummy. "He can't help himself." "If I was a cat, I'd feel very muddled when my mistress praised me for catching mice, but blamed me for catching birds," said Harry. "I wouldn't know what to think." "I don't care what you say, I still don't like that cat Ginger," said Janie. "I should chase him away." "No, don't," said Mummy. "He wouldn't understand. He would think you were a nasty, unkind little girl, and you aren't." "Let's go and fly our kite," said Harry, getting up. "It's a lovely windy day. You get the string, Janie, and I'll get the kite. I bet that cat will run away as soon as he sees our kite bobbing in the air. You won't have to chase him." The two children were soon out in the garden with their kite. It wasn't very big, but it was a very nice one. Uncle Fred had given it to them when he'd come to see Mummy. Ginger the cat ran to the wall when he saw the two children. He liked Harry, but he was afraid of Janie because sometimes she chased him and shouted at him. She still felt cross because of the blackbird he had caught. Ginger leapt up onto the wall and lay there, watching what the children were doing. Janie got in a muddle with the string, so Harry put the kite down on the ground and went to help her. The wind jiggled the kite and it flapped a little, moving along over the grass. Ginger watched it with great interest. Was it alive? Why did it jiggle and flap like that? He longed to jump down and catch it. The kite wriggled and shook when another gust of wind came, and Ginger crouched, ready to pounce on it if it came any nearer the wall. What fun to catch it! But he didn't dare to leap down in case Janie chased him away. At last the muddled and tangled string was undone, and then the children began to fly the kite. Harry picked it up from the grass and threw it into the wind. The breeze caught it and played with it, making it flap and fling itself up and down in the air. Ginger watched it, amazed. So this thing could fly. Was it a kind of bird? He was very interested indeed, and never took his eye off the kite. Suddenly the kite flew high into the air, and Ginger stood up eagerly. Yes, it must be a bird that belonged to the two children, a tame bird on a string. Just as Harry was flying the kite beautifully, and almost all the string had run out, Mummy called him. "Harry, come and get these hot buns straight out the oven. There's one for each of you." "Hold the kite, Janie," said Harry, and pushed the piece of wood on which the string was wound into Janie's hand. She was delighted. Now she could fly the kite, and she would fly it higher than Harry. She pulled and jerked the kite high up into the air, and it didn't like it. Then the wind suddenly dropped a little, and the kite took a swooping leap downwards, and it fell on the roof next door. There it stuck. Janie pulled and pulled at the string, but the kite wouldn't move. Then she pulled so hard that the string broke with a snap. She stared in horror. "Oh, Harry will be cross. We'll never be able to get the kite down from there. Oh, wind, do blow it down." But although the wind did blow with all its might, it wouldn't move the kite. It just jiggled and flapped, but stayed where it was, stuck on the roof. Ginger the cat was still very interested. So that funny big bird had flown onto the roof, had it? Just as the starlings did when he ran after them. The starlings sat up on the roof and spluttered and gurgled at him when he chased them away, and now it seemed to him as if the kite was laughing at poor Janie. Ginger turned himself right round and gazed up at it. It was on his own roof, and he wondered if it was ever going to fly off. Janie ran indoors crying, "Harry, the string broke and the kite stuck on the roof next door ever so high. Oh, Harry!" As soon as Janie had run indoors, Ginger leapt down into his own garden and ran into his house. Up the side of it, nailed to the wall, was a trellis on which climbing roses grew. Ginger had often climbed up to frighten the cheeky chaffinch who called him rude names from the top. Up he went, paw over paw, and then he leapt onto a small roof, and from there he climbed up to the top roof of all, clinging to the thick ivy stems that grew up the wall. He climbed across the gutter, and then sat on the tiles to see where that strange flapping bird had got to that Jane had been flying. Ah, there it was. It seemed to be caught and couldn't fly. Its string was entangled in a loose tile. Perhaps he could catch it. But was it good to eat? Ginger didn't think so. He took a cautious step towards it, and then went hurriedly back as the wind blew and made the kite jiggle and shake. "It's afraid of me," thought Ginger, and on he went again. He sat down close beside it. It didn't bite him or peck him as the blackbird had done. Was it a bird? Perhaps it wasn't, even though it could fly so well. Ginger put out a paw and tapped the kite gently. It jiggled a little, but that was all. He put out his paw once more. He wanted this funny thing to fly again. Why wouldn't it? Perhaps if he scrabbled at it, it would come loose and fly off, and then he would jump down and chase it. Just then, Harry and Janey came out into the garden. Harry was still cross about his kite. He stared up and then gave a shout. "Look, Ginger's up there! Oh, Janey, I do believe he's trying to set the kite free. Look at him patting and pushing it. Good old Ginger!" Janey was astonished. It really did look as if Ginger was trying to free the kite. And then, with a sudden scratch of his paw, the string loosened and the kite rose into the air. "Woo, woo," said the wind in delight, and blew it high in the air. Then down it flew into Harry's garden, flapping and swinging here and there, trailing its string behind it. And after it raced Ginger, down the small roof, onto the ground, up onto the wall again, and into Harry's garden. The kite had just landed there, and Ginger leapt on it in delight. He'd caught it, whatever it was. How proud he was! "Clever cat," said Harry, pleased to have his kite again. "Kind cat, wonderful cat. You got the kite down, and now you've caught it for us, so it can't blow away until we've got hold of the string again. Janey, isn't he a good cat?" Janey ran to Ginger, and at first he thought she was going to chase him away as usual. But she didn't. She stroked him and fussed him and petted him. "Dear Ginger, good Ginger. Oh, Harry, he got the kite down. Isn't he clever?" "Very," said Harry, winding up the string. "But you're not clever, Janey. I shan't let you fly the kite any more." "Well, I don't care," said Janey, and picked up Ginger. "I'll go indoors and give Ginger the creamiest drink of milk he's ever had. I don't hate him any more, and I love him." So now Ginger is a very, very spoilt cat. As Janey's mother says, he has two homes, one with Janey and one next door.